Hello and a warm welcome back to the channel of nonsense. I received a message this week from a fellow motoring journalist, one with much more talent than me, and he said, isn't it time that motoring journalists started to admit that Alfa Romeos aren't very good cars? And that made me a bit sad because I thought about it and I thought the only really properly good Alfas of the past few years have been good because they use Ferrari derived engines. Now the new ones like this Alfa Junior Veloce are forced to use really humdrum bits from the Stellantis parts bin. This switchgear down here is from a Peugeot 2008. So in this video I'm going to review the Alfa Junior Veloce and find out if Alfa still has any relevance or if it really is time to call time on our favourite Italian brand that isn't Ferrari or Lamborghini or Pagani or Ducati, sorry. I'll get in trouble for that. This then is the Alfa Romeo Junior. You can get it as an electric car or as a hybrid car. It's on the same Stellantis platform as things like the Fiat 600, the Vauxhall Mokka, the Peugeot E2008, and the Jeep Avenger. If you want the hybrid version of this, it will cost you from £28,000 here in the UK. If you want the basic electric model with 156 horsepower going to the front wheels, that's £34,000. But this is the fast electric one with 280 horsepower going to the front wheels, £43,000. And this one has got some options. This car's 48 grand. £48,000, like one of those annoying TikTokers that holds a microphone. But anyway, 48 grand, that gets you a 54 kilowatt hour battery, Stellantis' usual battery, which will get you about 200 miles on paper, but in the real world, I've been seeing about 175 miles. So £48,000, 175 miles, it better be good at something. Well, I think it looks pretty stylish like an Alfa should. Obviously not as stylish as my lavender corduroy shorts, but you've got matrix LED headlights on this one. You've got this very bold Alfa grille with the snake eating or vomiting the person. This grey paint is very lovely. It's about 700 quid, and obviously you can get it in Alfa red as well. Now, 20-inch alloys look amazing on this Veloce model, but they're already a bit curved, and not by me, so they look dangerous for parking in city centres. You've got proper Michelin Pilot Sport EV tyres on it, which kind of hints at the fact this car is set up to be a proper driver's car. It's also got a Torsen mechanical limited slip diff, which I think is a first for an electric car to help pull you out of corners. It's also got whopping 380mm brakes at the front, and they've only got 1.6 tonnes to stop. So this is reasonably light for an EV. Now, it's not really an SUV, I don't think. It's only that much taller than the old Giulietta, and this Veloce model is 25mm lower than the standard Junior. So yeah, I don't know, it's sort of Ford Puma size really. It's a bit shorter, it's 4.1 meters long, but it looks different to everything I've seen out on the roads. And I haven't actually seen many of these out on the roads. Have you? Go down to the comments and let me know. Has Alfa sold a car this year? I wish they would. Up front, the Alfa Romeo Junior is a mix of Alfa design details and some very easy to spot Stellantis parts bin stuff. So you do get digital dashboard in all models, but look at this. Hang on, let me zoom in. It is, out of focus, it is just a rectangular screen hidden away in these kind of traditional Alfa cows, which is a bit of a shame. They couldn't have actually made the screen different shape. But the steering wheel is lovely, it's thin, it's got Alcantara, it's a joy to hold. However, that's part of the £2,200 sport pack, which is just a shame. That should so be standard. That also gets you these lovely Alcantara Seatbelt sport seats, metal pedals, and velour floor mats, which aren't actually that veloury. But otherwise, the infotainment system is okay. It feels quite low. It's got wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, but it's just a bit laggy, and it's, you know, the usual Stellantis fare. So not the easiest to find what you're looking for. You've got a wireless charging mat down there. Drive mode selector, so the old DNA rotary dial from Alfa's is gone. You've just got that, even though it says DNA on the dashboard. The actual button just says drive mode, which is a real, well, it's a bit of a shame really. The glove box is half width. It's not a full width glove box. And the plastic on top of the dashboard is super rattly. Not very nice. Everything is well screwed together, but I would say material quality is not the best throughout the cabin. There are touches of Alcantara. You've got small door bins there. And the air vents at least are Alfa specific items, or at least have the badge on there. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. And the sunroof only covers the front seats, and then the back seats you sit in darkness. Okay, I'm about as unhappy as I've ever been sitting in the back of a car doing the filming bit for the rear seat space because it's terrible. I am 6'3", that's my driving position, but it looks like one of Darth Vader's kink box toys because that's rock hard and my knees just jab into it. I've got no knee room, that's really uncomfortable. My feet just about fit under the front seat if I jam them at an angle, and I have got headroom at least because there's no sunroof in the back. It's pitch black back here, no door bins. None, no storage there whatsoever. A single USB-C there, hump in the middle of the floor. Middle seat passenger, just don't bother because they've got nowhere to put their trotters. And worst of all, for a car designed in Italy, you know, where it gets hot, it's 32 degrees today, hence the sweat patches, there aren't any vents in the back. I've had the aircon on this car for about an hour while I've been driving it around, and it's still roasting hot back here. So don't put kids in the back of this. And also, if I close the doors, this window line is really, really high, so your children might get car sick. The Isofix points are behind fiddly little zips as well. All round, not very good. I don't think the back end of the Junior looks too bad. I think it looks quite unlike any other Alfa that I've seen in recent history. This is giving me old Maseratis at 3200 or 4200 with the boomerang tail lights. Boot space is actually sort of average for the class. It's 400 litres, which is possibly a little bit bigger than you might expect. And under here you've got a shallow tray for storing cables and stuff like that, but you're not gonna go to the airport with a full family's load of luggage in this. But styling wise, I think it sort of looks okay. This reversing camera though, that's not standard, even if you buy the Veloce, 42.5 or whatever it is, 43 grand. You only get rear parking sensors. You need to spend £2,200 more on the technology pack to get the reversing camera. Oh, let's go for a drive in the Alfa Romeo Junior and see if it can redeem itself. I'm sitting on my sunglasses. Loses a star for that. No, I'm just kidding. Right, you hold the start button for longer than you think, as with every other Stellantis product with the same start button. Pull the Peugeot E2008 thing back into D, and then off you go. And the second you get into this car, it does have little special touches, such as the seats. These optional seats are really huggy and really, really nice. I think I've had a version of this in a Giulia Quadrifoglio before, and I wouldn't buy one without them. If I was much fatter, I wouldn't fit in them. They're definitely designed for thinner people. And the steering wheel, you half expect it to have those big metal paddles behind it, like in a proper Alfa Romeo with a petrol engine. I'm not saying all Alfas have to have petrol engines, electric ones will be fine. But look, if I boot it around here, it just tugs you round. This mechanical limited slip diff really makes itself felt on the road at pretty much all speeds because you've got instant torque. If I put it into dynamic mode, then things sharpen up in terms of the throttle response, and that's where you'll find it easiest to get your 0 to 62 time, 5.9 seconds. You get some fake engine noise, and the steering wheel is alive in your hands. It does tug at the wheel slightly. Sorry, big lorry there. It does tug slightly as you go over bumps, and it does torque steer, but you can feel that diff locking up as the traction is hunted out on the front axle, and it does feel like a proper hot hatch. When this car was launched back in 2024, they took all the car journalists to basically a go-kart track in Italy where they just hooned it round, and it lifts the rear wheel when you go around corners hard enough, like a proper hot hatch should. It is loads of fun, but they probably did that because it only has just about enough range to go around a go-kart track. Out on the road though, it rides okay. That was my biggest surprise. Those massive 20-inch wheels, they might be a bit mullered on the rim, like all the best things, but it rides surprisingly well on a British road. It's a joy to drive, enhanced by the thinness and the Alcantara-ness of that steering wheel. Now, in terms of actual practical stuff, the view out the back corners is worse than average, I would say. It's got really, really thick pillars back there, and you don't actually sit up that high, so it doesn't feel like an SUV, which I guess does help in the handling department. Oh, it never feels fast enough to make your intestines move around, so if you're expecting a whip crack EV experience, then you're going to be disappointed, because even with 280 horsepower, the throttle mapping is quite gentle for the first bit. So if I stamp on the accelerator, it waits a little bit and then it kind of ramps up the speed. The brakes are really quite strong, but the pedal's a little bit soft, so you need to get into them with quite a bit of weight before they start working. These Michelin Pilot Sport EV tyres feel near enough as good as a Pilot Sport 4S on a Porsche or something like that. They are proper grippy hoops. And when you turn it in on the brakes, you do feel the back end start to move around. It's really good fun. Oh dear. The only thing is, you can't do it for all that long because you start to hammer your efficiency. And I have averaged well under 3 miles per kilowatt hour out of this because it encourages me to boot it everywhere. And that means my real world range, if I drive like a lunatic, is going to be like 130 miles. You can get it over 3 if you're not lead-footed and dynamic mode everywhere, but you kind of want to be. Other little niggles, the lane keep assist is quite intrusive, as with most other Stellantis things, so you have to turn that off. And you have to go through quite a few menus to turn it off, and also turn the speed limit warning bongs off. So far as I can tell, there aren't any handy switches for doing so, which is a bit of a shame. Now, in terms of actual refinement, at motorway speeds, you get quite a lot of tyre roar in the cabin. It's not the worst, it's not the best. You get a little bit of wind noise as well. Mostly, you want to be commuting to an office where you can charge your car and where you've got fun B roads in between. That's kind of where this makes sense. But then, at the back of your mind, you're like, it's 48 grand. That's as much as a new Toyota GR Yaris. And that is even more fun to drive. Other little nerdy points, it's got torsion beam rear axle, so it's got quite a basic cheap rear suspension setup. That doesn't really matter, I guess, but if you're a proper driving nerd, you'll know that this has just been lumped with the same basic happy shopper platform as some of the other Stellantis cars. It should be more special, I think. That's what I'm getting at, which is a shame, because I wanted to really give this a proper chance. And I have given it a proper chance, and it's come up a bit short. But anyway, that sounds like a waffly conclusion, which is the only type I can do. Let's head back to me in the car park of joy for an actual conclusion. To sum up, the Alfa Romeo Junior, despite sharing so many parts with other Stellantis models, is uniquely Alfa Romeo by snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. To drive, this is one of the most fun EVs out there, but that's about it. Other than the stylishness, which obviously we can debate down in the comments in a second, there's no backseat space. It's got too many cheap Stellantis bits for the price, and the price is ridiculous, and it can only go 175 miles. So it's one of those cars that when you're driving it on a B road, like, yeah, this is great. And then you look at your bank balance and the rest of it, and you've tried to put something in the back and they've caught fire because there are no air vents. It's bad. I'm going to give it 5 Tim Roadies out of 10. It's made me really frustrated. But anyway, it's a proper bipolar car, good to drive, bad at pretty much everything else, which is a real crushing shame. Every video I do of an Alfa Romeo, I'm like, oh, is this the car to save Alfa Romeo? Apparently this will be it, because they're building it using shared components and therefore it will be more profitable. I just don't see them selling many of them, which is a real pity. But anyway, thank you for watching this. If you've liked it, please hit like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, go down to the comments and leave me the Italian word for, can we just build good cars again, please? And can people bloody buy them?